The first signs of change rarely arrive with fireworks. They creep in quietly, like a pulse under the skin, a sense that something is watching you from within your own life. And for men who stumble into the world of semen retention, that sensation hits hard. It feels like stepping into a corridor where the lights flicker, where the air hums, where every urge suddenly has a shadow behind it. Not an enemy, but a test. A threshold. A dare from the universe itself. Before we dive into the secrets of semen retention power, make sure you subscribe now and join our Telegram family, the link's in the description. Don't miss the exclusive insights and daily motivation that will keep your energy, focus, and discipline unstoppable. Your success journey starts today. You feel it the moment you admit to yourself that something is off. Something in your daily rhythm has been hijacked by impulses that pretend to comfort you but actually drain you. Something in the way you chase pleasure has turned you into a spectator of your own potential. And somewhere beneath the noise, a single question whispers, like a trigger waiting to be pulled. What would happen if you stopped giving away the most powerful energy you possess? That question is the ignition. It burns slow but hot. It forces you to face the truth that your desire, electric, masculine, has been leaking into screens, fantasies, habits, and hollow moments that feed nothing and build nothing. And the moment you sense that leak, you can't unsee it. You can't return to the old rhythm without feeling the cost. This is where the story becomes uncomfortable, because this is where the ancient part of you wakes up. The part with instinct, hunger, purpose, the part that knows your life force is not a toy. The part that knows retention is not about suppression, but transformation. This is the part of you that realizes your seed is the source code of your vitality, and you've been scattering it like loose change, hoping for comfort instead of building power. It's unsettling at first. It feels like an inner alarm blaring inside your chest. The world around you is drenched in temptation, almost engineered to keep you weak. Every scroll, every swipe, every platform weaponized to hijack your biological wiring. You start seeing how the environment is designed not to sharpen you, but to soften you. And that realization hits harder than any heartbreak. You begin to notice how easily you've been pulled by the gravitational field of lust. You start noticing how quickly your focus evaporates when pleasure calls. And suddenly, the urge you once thought was harmless begins to look like a doorway to your own self-betrayal. You feel played, manipulated, drained yet fully responsible. And that responsibility is the opening. Because the moment you accept responsibility, the world tilts, the air shifts, the shadows change shape. You stop seeing your urges as enemies and start seeing them as signals. You stop viewing your desire as a burden and start recognizing it as fuel. Your life force becomes something you guard, something you channel, something you respect, like a torch in a storm. This is where the suspense deepens. Because once you decide to retain, the game begins. Your mind becomes louder. Your urges become strategic. Old habits claw at you like ghosts. Days stretch. Nights sharpen. And every moment of temptation feels like standing at the edge of a cliff with the wind calling your name. But what you don't expect, what no one warns you about, is that beneath the discomfort lies a rising power. A pulse. A heat. A clarity that wasn't there before. It's like cleaning a foggy window and realizing the world outside was never blurry. You just weren't seeing clearly. And the clearer you see, the harder it becomes to tolerate anything that drags you backward. The first week feels like war, but it's a righteous war. A war where every victory is internal and every defeat teaches you exactly where your weaknesses hide. You start learning how your triggers work. You start understanding the difference between craving connection and craving escape. And you begin to see that the world has profited from your lack of semen retention shows you the cost of your old patterns in brutal detail. You see the hours you wasted, the energy you drained, the motivation you killed, and then you see the man you could become if you reclaimed all of it. That contrast shakes you awake. Because the truth is simple. When a man retains, he stops leaking purpose. He stops scattering ambition. He stops numbing himself. He stops settling. He stops chasing validation. He stops choosing shortcuts. Retention forces a man to confront himself, and the confrontation is where transformation begins. Your life force is the one currency you can't beg for, borrow, or buy. It's the blueprint of your vitality, the battery of your ambition, the voltage behind your charisma. Retention turns that energy inward until it becomes light in your eyes, sharpness in your voice, weight in your presence. Men don't lose attraction because they aren't handsome. They lose attraction because their eyes carry exhaustion instead of fire. Their voice carries uncertainty instead of direction. Their body carries depletion instead of discipline. Retention reverses that. It puts the fire back. It puts the weight back. It puts the presence back. But the real magic doesn't happen in the mirror. It happens in the decisions you start making. You stop chasing chaos and start seeking alignment. You stop reaching for quick dopamine and start building long arc purpose. You stop letting temptation dictate who you are, and the world responds. Not because of superstition, not because of mysticism, but because energy is real. Focus is real. Self-respect is real. When a man retains, he becomes a man who chooses, and the world gravitates toward men who choose instead of react. The suspense of this journey doesn't fade, it evolves. Your urges don't disappear, they transform. They become ambition, creativity, drive, hunger. They become a storm you can actually steer instead of be swallowed by. You begin to realize that the real villain was never lust, it was the unconsciousness behind it. The autopilot, the sleepwalking, the surrender without awareness. Retention forces you into consciousness. Suddenly, every urge becomes a moment of choice, and choice is where a man defines himself. The longer you retain, the more your mind reconnects, your thoughts sharpen, your emotions stabilize, your attention deepens, your discipline strengthens. You begin to crave progress more than pleasure. You begin to seek challenge instead of escape. Somewhere along the path, you start feeling your future again. Not as a fantasy, but as a destination. You start feeling the man you're becoming breathe inside you. The suspense turns into momentum. The momentum turns into identity. And identity is everything. Because a man who sees himself as powerful becomes powerful. A man who sees himself as disciplined becomes disciplined. A man who sees himself as intentional becomes intentional. Retention rewires the story you tell yourself about yourself. You begin walking differently, not in arrogance, but in certainty. Your spine straightens. Your voice steadies. Your eyes stop darting around. You carry an invisible weight that others can feel. Not dominance, but direction. Not ego, but energy. And with that energy comes magnetism. Not the artificial kind that needs games, tricks, or manipulation. The natural kind that comes from being a man who is aligned with himself. Women feel it, opportunities feel it, life feels it, because retention forces you to break your addictions. And once you break one addiction, you start breaking others. Screens lose their hold. Comfort loses its appeal. Procrastination loses its charm. Your entire system upgrades. The suspense evolves into transformation. The transformation becomes momentum. The momentum becomes unstoppable. You realize you aren't fighting urges anymore. You're forging a new version of yourself. Every day you retain, you build something inside you. A charge, a force, a presence, a direction, a standard. And that standard begins governing your choices. It becomes your filter. It becomes your compass. You start recognizing how much power you were giving away for nothing. You start understanding why you felt out of sync, out of drive, out of purpose. You start seeing how easily men are weakened when their energy is diluted. Retention becomes your rebellion. Not against women, not against desire, but against weakness. Against the part of you that wanted shortcuts instead of strength. Against the version of you that didn't know what you were capable of. The deeper you go, the more you feel your masculine spirit return to form. Not aggression, not domination, but direction, vision, stability, groundedness, a type of internal gravity that pulls your life back into alignment. You stop hiding from your flaws. You stop running from discomfort. You stop numbing your fears. Retention forces you to stand still long enough to see the truth. You change. Your confidence stops being fake, stops being loud, stops being performative. It becomes silent, steady, unshakable. The kind that comes from knowing you control yourself. And a man who controls himself is a man who is feared, respected, and trusted by the world. Day by day, you feel your power rising. Not in a dramatic explosion, but in a steady build. A hum, a charge, a presence. And that presence begins shaping everything around you. But the greatest shift isn't external. It's the quiet realization that you finally trust yourself. That you finally keep promises to yourself. That you finally move like a man who knows where he's going. The suspense transforms into certainty. The uncertainty transforms into mission. The mission transforms into identity. And your identity becomes the foundation of your future. Retention is not the destination. It's the catalyst. It's the reset. It's the awakening that forces you to confront what you were, rise into what you are, and build into what you can become. If you stay the course, the world you build will be unrecognizable from the world you came from. Because you will be unrecognizable. And the man who emerges from this journey is the man you were always meant to become. This is your pivot, your reset, your initiation. The moment you take back the energy you've been giving away, the moment you stop living on autopilot and start living with intention, your life force is your leverage. Your discipline is your weapon. Your awareness is your armor. And your future is shaped by every urge you conquer, every temptation you rise above, Every moment, you choose strength over surrender. This journey will challenge you, break you, sharpen you, and forge you. But if you stay the path, you won't just become a man with discipline. You'll become a man with destiny. If this video gave you real value, tap the thanks button. Your support helps me keep creating deeper content like this. Every thanks is a spark that keeps this mission alive. Your support means more than you know. Retention isn't about holding back. It's about rising up. And once you rise, the world changes. Not because it's different, but because you are. Guard your life force. Build your future. Become the man your past self was afraid you could be. Retention awakens the strongest version of a man because it shifts him from consumption mode to creation mode, from scattered to strategic, from boy energy to executive energy. This isn't magic. This is biological, psychological, and behavioral synergy. The strongest men throughout history weren't the most gifted. They were the most controlled.